now we draw a card, we gain 1 life, they lose 1 life, and we draw a card, and this goes on and on and on and on. Hello YouTube, welcome to MTGA Day, and today we are going to have a look at Queza, Augur of Agonies in Historic Brawl. This deck aims to win by comboing into Peer into the Abyss or Lich's Mastery with Queza, Augur of Agonies out on the field. So this commander has a pretty simple line of text. Whenever you draw a card, you gain 1 life and the opponent loses 1 life. And then there are 2 cards that basically go... well, one goes actually infinite and the other one just does enough damage to the opponent. First and foremost, Peer into the Abyss. This makes you lose half your life and draw half your deck. So in a starting brawl you have 100 cards. Let's say you draw like 20 maximum, right? So like you have around 80 cards left. So this usually does 35 damage to the opponent with Queza out on the field, which is, again, mostly enough. And Lich's Mastery says, hexproof, you can't lose the game, and it's a legendary enchantment, and whenever you gain life, draw that many cards. That is the relevant part, right? And then when you lose life, you have to exile that many permanents, cards from hand or graveyard, and when it leaves battlefield, you lose the game, but usually doesn't leave the field because it has hexproof, right? So basically, your game plan is you have an Esper control gel that has some tutors and card advantage and is pretty light on threats, and then you're trying to find Peer into the Abyss or Lich's Mastery, play Queza, play one of these 2 cards, and win the game on the spot there and then and there. I've tinkered a bit with the list. I know it's a highly requested list. I'm still not too sure how to exactly build it. Like how much you go into control, how much you try to turbo out the combo, and so on and so forth. And like you have to try to keep the cards flowing, basically, right? That's why we have cards like for Rexin Arena in there. And you also don't want to play Queza out early, and you know, like against aggro you can play Queza as a blocker, but against control you basically never play out Queza because you want to be able to play Queza and something else. So like sometimes you just want to straight have the mana for Queza and to Peer into the Abyss in the same turn, right? And you just can't do that when Queza gets killed 2-3 times and costs like what, 10-12 mana. So yeah. Anyways, let's jump right into the games. If you enjoy my content, consider liking the video, subscribing to the channel, and yeah, let's go. We are ready to play against goddamn Quintorius. Wow. I haven't seen this guy in a long time. Anyways, probably would love to find a second white so I can play this Cold on black. Other than that, I'm probably playing this on white to just have the Wrath available to me. Let's see. I'm interested in 1 more blue for the Seagate potentially. Although, usually by the time we play Seagate, we can't cast it. Seagate is actually nice sometimes if you need a land drop and you have a Solve the Equation in hand. Then you fetch a Seagate Restoration and then you can make your land drop. That's a play you can definitely make. Let's see. Opponent is thinking. I'm sometimes not sure if people are thinking on turn 1. Like I do that all the time, right? But I don't see any like cards hovering or whatever. So sometimes people do just like a lot of people actually play on mobile, and then they have connectivity issues and whatnot. I'm never super certain what's going on there. That's the Mastery, and I would love to pick up a black source here actually. I'm thinking about grabbing the Tail's End because it fits, like it kind of fits the Teferi here, but let's just take the search. In case something goes wrong, basically. Because, like, Tail's End is a disruptive counterspell, not a protective counterspell. So it's a counterspell that you do to disrupt the opponent, but it's not that great at protecting your own things, because their kill spells are not likely going to be legendary. That makes sense. And we're more interested in protecting ourselves here. Anyways, I think it's Teferi time, right? Just get that sweet, sweet plus value. You can also add Tainted Indulgence here.
And keep up the pace.
Oh yeah, there's another black here. Beautiful. I think we're not supposed to play the Tainted Indulgence here, so we can draw a card immediately off. Like, we played Lich's Mastery next turn, and then the turn afterwards we Queza into playing Tainted Indulgence. Okay, let's do exactly that.
We need to move.
So Teferi pluses Lich's Mastery. We untap you. Not that it matters really. And we should have lethal on turn 6 here with our combo control kill. There are not too many things that I can actually do here against it. Farewell costs too much mana to exile the Lich's Mastery and make us lose the game.
I suppose that's how it
And I'm going to lead this turn on Duress, I believe. Yeah, I can actually bolt this in, and I think I have enough mana for the Tainted Indulgence. Yeah, because if I like bolt this land in, that's a, yeah, they just surrender to that. Yeah, so if I bolt this land in, I lose 3 lives, so I have to exile 3 things from graveyard, hand, or field. I do have enough cards for that, and then in Queza, playing Tainted Indulgence, and then draw a deck and drain them out. GG! We are ready to play against Evelyn. Grixis, Vampire Tribal, I assume. Okay. We have a bunch of ramp, we have tutors, we have value. The only thing missing are more land drops, but I think we will get there. Probably, likely. So let's see. Yep, Command Tower first. And I think we're playing this on... I think we want this on black for more black. Yeah. Let's just do black. The deck is super black hungry if it gets going. We want to hit our land drop here. We didn't hit our land drop. So we can either make our land drop here with Search for Glory, or we can make our land drop with Solve the Equation. The Search for Glory gets Mastery, and Solve the Equation gets Peer. So the question is, what is going to be our win condition? Peer or Mastery? And we use the other one, basically. And I think I'd rather have Lich's Mastery in this case. So I'm going to use Solve the Equation to search for a land drop. There's obviously going to be an argument for using Search for Glory, so I can actually use Solve the Equation to fight, you know, an actual card. But I think as is right now, I prefer this play pattern. Cormelia, sure, that happens. Land drop, perfect, yes, Teferi. Plus, I'm going to
keep up the pace.
Oh, there is a Farewell. And untap you two. Nice. I assume Cormelia, not Cormelia. Cormelia attacks the Fairy, that's fine. Westgate Regent. I would very much like to Disdainful Stroke that, but maybe I'm just going to Mana Tithe it. I think that's better. Reason being that I can still Disdainful Stroke their commander if I need to later on.
Hurry.
There's our land drop. That is fine. I'm going to play Celestis. And going to search for glory. And I'm going to fetch the Lich's Master here. If they have a Thoughtseize here, I think we're still in pretty good shape. We can reshuffle our graveyard with... what's it called? The Mana Rock, the mono blue one. Clock, Midnight Clock. And we can also just find the other combo piece.
I won't let you win.
They basically just skip their turn here. I'm going to discard the Faithful Mending to get more actual card advantage. And there's a Dark Ritual. I think they're keeping up their commander in this spot. Not sure what to do exactly. I would feel a bit better if I had
We need to move quickly.
a gate or something like that. Oh yeah, that's great. That Inquisition is great. Hero's Downfall. Sure, I'm all for it.
Let me know.
And yep. So we are good to go. We can play this Lich's Mastery off of the Dark Ritual. And I think we can just end the turn, untap these two, hold up Disdainful Stroke, and next turn I can just Queza into Farewell. A very cool synergy here is that we draw and gain 1 life of the Celestis, so that actually effectively draws 2 because, you know, Lich's Mastery draws as a card whenever we gain life. I think we have enough mana to search for a Pact here. With the Grim Tutor. I'm not sure if I'm supposed to Faithful Mending here. We have to exile 2 things, and usually we take our graveyard first, right? So like search and mana type. There you go. Maybe we were supposed to Grim Tutor. So then let's use the Faithful Mending here, try to find an opt. Disdainful Stroke, the Evelyn. Assume they don't have anything anyways, but no, just in case. Discard 2 cards, and then we draw 2 more of the Lich's Mastery. Beautiful. And we do have lethal here, I assume, but it's not. If this last card is a counterspell for Queza, I think that's fine. Another tip I can give you for this deck: if I have 1 tutor to like get a draw spell, I usually like to get where is it? Usually like to get Censor because that can't get countered effectively. So now we draw a card, we gain 1 life, they lose 1 life, and we draw a card, and this goes on and on and on and on until we have no deck. But that doesn't actually kill us because we can't lose the game with Lich's Mastery. If they have too much life, then that's kind of a problem. We can reshuffle with Midnight Clock, but it's pretty funny if they have too much life, actually. So, like, life gain decks at a certain point are actually a tough matchup. GG. We are ready to play against Yerok the Desecrated. Should be a fun and grindy match, and this should be a fun and grindy hand. Let's keep it. This is probably going to be Glacial Fortress on 1. Tapped, and let's then we won't. I don't think there's a world we can keep up turn 2 counter spell. turn 3 for X in Arena unless I get like a certain untapped land here. Yeah, I think I want to... I'm kind of inclined to play the Courtyard to Swords to Plowshare their mana dork. Yeah, let's do this. It's interesting. I really want to play the Phyrexian Arena early here. Into the north, okay. Obviously can't Swords to Plowshares that, but it's fine. Okay, Swords to Plowshares is not a dead card later on, right? Yeah, there is nothing I can play. I play an untapped land here. Except the swords, but you know I can't cast that anyways, so let's see. Solemn Simulacrum is not something I want to exile. Yes, they draw a card if I board wipe it, right, but there are better things to swords. So let's just play Phyrexian Arena. Nice. Okay. They bolt themselves. And I think I'm going to Swords to Plowshares. Them in response to them like playing something here. Oh, that is... Oh, that's also really mean. So I can Swords to Solemn, right? And then if they let that resolve, I can Sudden Edict and they can't respond to that. Oh, that's so mean. I love it. Okay, that's going to be the plan here. In response to them creating something on the stack, probably. Okay, we don't care about that. Like I know they get more cards here, but maybe I was supposed to do that in response to that. I want to be really greedy here, and like just Wrath of God them, honestly. Yeah, let's just be mega greedy. Land, draw a card. They get a ton of value. I know. Trust me, this is fine, guys. Because now I get to Wrath of God them while holding a Wash Away for the commander again. And it's just beautiful. It's just magnificent. So let's see. They put their commander's commands on. Yep, they draw a card of the Solemn. And obviously if I don't Wash Away, I'm very likely going to consider. But I assume they cast the commander? I mean, if not, it's really not that big of a deal. Yeah, there we go. Tap out for it. Wash Away. And that just... like, it's kind of a tempo matchup, honestly. Like, this is... like, because we have such a threatening win condition, we just need to get there. I really want to know what's going on there, so... Thoughtseize. Okay, what do we care about? I don't care about all these big individual threats. I care about cheap interaction and them double spelling effectively. Right? So, I kind of care about the Thieving Skydiver getting rid of one of our rocks. I kind of care about the Apprentice, actually, because it makes them hit land drops. I think the rest is okay. Maybe the Tachova, so they can't Tachova and play land immediately. And everything else here is instant speed. Everything. Oh, look at this! It's just instant speed everywhere. Yes. Oh, it's beautiful. I love it. Muldrotha. Sure, that gets back nothing currently. Okay. They scry 2 of the Apprentice. I'm obviously going to Swords to Plowshares the Muldrotha. I could have countered the Apprentice. Don't think it matters too much. Like, I could have countered it so my Sudden Edict is live, basically, but I think I want a Memory Deluge here. Okay. Swords you. Like, getting rid of the Apprentice was actually a reason to, you know... like, getting rid of the Apprentice with the Thoughtseize would have made my day easier with the Sudden Edict. But I think just land Teferi, just play that, plus overall get a bunch of card advantage here. It's going to be great. I do eventually need to find something, or at least play Queza out so I don't lose life to this Phyrexian Arena anymore, obviously. Oh well, okay, there we go. How fast can I get there? So it's Teferi. Teferi Queza. I think we just play Teferi plus. We have a bit more time given that how their hand looks.
I know what must be done. Hurry.
Okay. And do we untap? More blue sources. Blue. We get to look at a bunch of new cards with the Supreme Will, or just, you know, counterspell Sudden Edict, which is way more likely actually here. Emergence Ultimatum, yeah, counterspell. Very no. That's a big no, and I'm just going to Sudden Edict because they will always have this around to, like, Sudden Edict, like, to sacrifice to the Sudden Edict specifically. I can... If I go for Peer, I have lethal next turn, actually. Let's plus first. To see what we actually want to play here. Yeah, so the way we have lethal next turn is... Play Queza. Play Grim Tutor. I know what their hand is, so they have to top deck something here. Right? And I pick the Peer. And that way I have lethal next turn. I could have gotten one more life. Obviously, by playing Queza before plussing Teferi. But maybe that wasn't the line I wanted to take, in case I draw something like a Malicious Mastery, right? Yep. Omen of the Dead gets back something, that's fine. It doesn't matter. It really doesn't matter. And at least one black, right, to Supreme Will, but if they have removal, they likely have three additional mana to pay for it, because, you know, they have so much mana, they're going to play the removal first. Yep, Omen. And that's actually quite interesting. If they have instant speed removal for the Queza, right, that could be really annoying. Bottom is a good indicator that they didn't find anything here. Yeah, and they just showed that they have nothing. And that is the game. Look at the top. Yeah. Land. I mean, wouldn't have mattered anyways, right? Okay. We're going to draw a card. Drain them for 1. Draw a card, drain them for 1, and kill them. So we draw half our deck, and that's 34 cards, and deal them 34 damage. And as you can see, they almost wouldn't have died from this, because they gained a bunch of life previously. Anyways, GG. We are done with the games. I hope you enjoyed them as much as I did, and that was Queza, Augur of Agonies, and Historic Brawl. The deck is pretty fun. It is Esper control with a combo finish. For the longest time, we just didn't have any basically good Esper commanders. Chromium, it was Esper, but it wasn't really good, right? And Layla was like nice, but also not amazing. And for the most important thing, it wasn't an Esper control commander, which most people wanted. Queza also isn't an Esper control commander, right? This doesn't generate you any card advantage, right? Like, Azorius Control has a great commander in Hero of Dominaria, right? Where you just play it, you get card advantage, it helps your game plan, can be removal, just overall a great card. Queza isn't that kind of card. So you're basically playing Esper Control without any commander to have a one card win condition in your deck, or at least two of them, which is pretty cool. But also just I wasn't at the beginning, I wasn't certain how to exactly build the deck and how to play it, right? So first mistake I made was just play Queza over and over, then it died and I just couldn't recast Queza in the crucial turns, so I just stopped casting Queza. The first iterations of this deck also went for a combo tribal approach, where you had a bunch of like 2-card infinite combos scattered across the deck, but it found the deck to be better at just having these 2 infinites in there, and then just having a lot more card selection, like finding your board wipes with this card selection when you needed it, finding like card advantage when you needed it with something like a Phyrexian Arena. So I found a bit more success with that version. That being said, if you want to play this deck for yourself and you are on a budget, here is what you can cut and here is what you need. First and foremost, I mean, I'm saying this a lot of the time, but craft your lands, especially now that like we play a bunch of 3-color, like we have a bunch of new 3-color commanders, right? A ton, actually, 3 per 3-color enemy pair, ally pair, don't even remember. Anyways, this is what you really want. You need the mana fixing specifically. You don't need Castle Lockthwaite, Otawara, Castle Vantress, and Agonies that much. The rest you really want. Like, craft your lands, guys. I can't just say this again and again. Craft your lands. So now that is out of the way. What from the actual deck do you need? Honestly, I think you can cut either Lich's Mastery or Peer into the Abyss and their respective tutors. It's a bit awkward, right? So, for example, Search for Glory is exclusively there to search Lich's Mastery because it is a legendary enchantment. Idyllic Tutor is exclusively there to search Lich's Mastery. Well, it's also, like, this can grab a land, and this can grab Search for Azcanta, or, like, Phyrexian if you need it, right? But that's, like, the main purpose of these cards. So, what do you have to search for Peer into the Abyss? You have your Solve the Equation, which is a card you're very likely going to have because this is uncommon. It's an amazing format staple. So, by crafting Peer into the Abyss, you already have, like, the specific tutors for it. But Lich's Mastery is more often than not going to be the win condition you're actually going for. So there's some tension there, obviously. But I think you can cut one of the win conditions. But if you cut Lich's Mastery, you probably want to cut these tutors as well, right? But you probably want to go with both of them. You want to go, obviously, with the tutors. Grim Tutors, Wishclaw Talismans, Idyllic Tutor, Search for Glories, all the tutors in the world. They're fun, they're great. You want to have at least 3 board wipes. I'm pretty light on board wipes. You don't have to play these board wipes, but at least 3 board wipes, at least if you have that amount of card selection that I have and like the amount of tutors that I have, which you honestly should because you want to find your combo. Then counterspell, like defensive, like Thoughtseize, Inquisition, they are really, really hard to beat. You want those, they're great, like they're great staples. Pact of Negation is here in case you are tight on mana, you're about to drop Queza, you're about to like drop your card draw spells while you have a Lich's Master in the field. They put a counter on the stack. In response to that, you can activate Wishclaw and Pact of Negation for 0. Things like that, or like just hold up an additional free counterspell basically in the turn you win the game. Interaction-wise, you don't... Like, again, I think the Thoughtseizes and Inquisitions have a special spot in this deck, because you can clear the way preemptively and then drop your Lich's Mastery in the next turn. So those are probably the best interaction you can get. You don't need Brainstorm, just play another card filtering still. But for all the other ones like Curse of Silence, Mana Tides, Swords to Plowshares, Fateful Absences, Tails and Counterspells, those are basically your interaction in the deck. Again, I don't exactly count Pact of Negation as like meaningful interaction in the early game. And you can replace them with other like uncommon black removal spells, with more board wipes if you have them, with different counter magic if you have those, but not necessarily these, right? So you can make some cuts there or swaps. Teferi's Protection, I found some lines where I wanted to drop a Queza and tutor for Teferi's Protection because I'd appear into the Abyss in the hand. So that's why I've added it, but really don't need it. Tutors, Mana Rocks, you can replace these with, different Mana Rocks. I just think Midnight Clock and Celestis are the best ones. Soul Shatter, again, removal, can be replaced with Murderous Rider or whatever, right? Grim Tutor is a tutor. Phyrexian Arena is a card advantage engine. Like, Search for Azcanta and Phyrexian Arena come in really clutch because you can find them so consistently, especially if you have an Idyllic Tutor and all this card filtering. And if you tend to run out of cards in your games and you don't have these in your deck, then you should probably consider crafting them. And if you do run out of cards in your games and you have these in your deck, maybe get more card filtering or just another big draw spell if you want to find success that way. Something along the lines of Discover the Formula, right? This is also there as a big value engine, or like a Memory Deluge and Drown for Greens are filtering, and Memory Deluge is a bit more card advantage as well. Again, board wipes. Teferi is a card advantage engine because it's just good, right? It's just Teferi. Time Warp, it's just Time Warp, basically. Obviously great with the Teferi on the field, but you don't need it. You can effectively use this as a ramp spell sometimes. Like, you are on turn 5, you make your land drop, Time Warp, Lich's Mastery, and they don't expect that because they expected it to come down a turn later, and now suddenly it's on the field and it's really hard to move. And Farewell, board wipes, Lich's Mastery, Seagate. You can replace this with a land. If you replace this with a land, make sure that you replace you cut this, you add an island, but then you want to make sure that you're cutting cutting a swarm for the black bolt land or a plains for the white bolt land, so you can grab an untapped land off of your Solve the Equation if you need it. It's a play that has come up sometimes, and you want to be I think it's worth having one less basic just to have this line of play available in your deck. Overall, pretty fun deck. Hope you enjoyed it, and I will see you in the next video.